Florida really just said, what if we ban HOAs? And my first thought was, what are the neighborhood Karens gonna do?
As a real estate agent in Florida, I'm going to tell you what I've been seeing lately.
Walking around a Florida home building site right now, and absolutely no one lives here. Look at all these empty homes.
Florida is now experiencing a complete collapse. Over the next 3 years, you will see housing prices on the East Coast and the West Coast and the south of Florida drop 30 to 40%.
So almost half the homes in the Tampa Bay area right now are not selling, and it's not for the reason that you think.
Something needs to be done about these landlords, because tell me why, on top of the $1,650 worth of rent on average for a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom, less than 1,000 square foot apartment in Central Florida.
Florida has over 2 million empty homes, yet it's still one of the most unaffordable places to live.
Well, guys, here we go. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If it is your first time here, please consider subscribing. Also like this video. It really does help my channel grow, and I really appreciate it. In today's video, we are going to be talking about the housing market in Florida.
Florida has over 2 million empty homes, yet it's still one of the most unaffordable places to live. Let's make this make some sense. So let's break this down. There are over 2 million homes in Florida that are sitting, unused, unoccupied. And yet the state is in a full-blown housing crisis. People can't find affordable housing. Houses just keeps going up like Beyonce's ticket prices. And the kicker? Insurance companies are raising premiums like it's a new hurricane every week, and it's nothing even going on right now. Yeah, we've had no new hurricanes in the Gulf of Mexico. In the Gulf of America, we've had nothing. So my question is, who is actually really benefiting in Florida from keeping those homes empty? Because somebody has to be benefiting from that. So they keep the homes empty and the rates high. Then who's really winning in that situation? Really? What's your thought? Why do you think they have so many homes sitting vacant in Florida, and why their insurance rates are sky high? What do you think is really going on?
As a real estate agent in Florida, I'm going to tell you what I've been seeing lately. So we're getting a ton of sellers who want to sell. Great, awesome clients, listings. But no, there's a catch, because majority of these sellers want us to sell their property for a value it's not worth. The numbers don't lie. The comps don't lie. If you want to overprice your property and shoot yourself in the foot, that's one thing. But we're realizing that it's not even worth taking the listing. Who cares? We don't need the listings to show we get listings, because when we get a listing and we market, we're dumping at least $500 per property to get it going, get the photography, get the videography. It costs money to play. So if we're spending all this money, say we have 5 sellers who want to list their house all overpriced, 5 times 500 is $2,500 that more than likely the houses aren't going to sell. Like, let's be honest. The sellers aren't going to accept a low ball offer is what they call it, but realistically it's what the house is worth, but they're not going to accept it. So agents are spinning their wheels, dumping money into these properties to try and sell it, when it's just a waste of time. It really is, and I hate to say it, but it's what's going on right now. So Florida, I don't know what state you guys are in, but I'm in Florida, and it's 100% a buyer's market right now. Sellers do not have the upper hand. You're lucky to get a couple showings right now, especially if you're overpriced. You're probably going to get none.
So guys, on the first video, the first lady was saying, you know, there's over 2 million houses, empty houses in Florida.
Really?
Believe it. Believe that. I live in Florida, and the area where I live, I see a lot of empty houses. It is crazy, and the thing is that they keep building more and more and more.
I'm not a smart man.
I don't know why. Why in the hell
language
you're gonna keep building more houses if the one that, you know, they are just already built, they're just sitting on the market. And the second lady, she said it, it's because they are overpriced. These houses are overpriced. They overpay also when they purchase the house. Because they're overpaid, now they want to sell it for more money because they don't want to lose money. At the end, they're going to end up losing money because nobody is buying any houses. Nobody is buying. So do your research. I am not an expert. I am not a realtor. I'm just a random guy here in YouTube just talking.
Sure.
So don't take my advice. Just look around. But my experience is nobody's buying.
I'm walking around a Florida home building site right now, and absolutely no one lives here. Look at all these empty homes. The last time we saw anything like this was 2007, right before the big crash. And prices in Florida, they end up going down 50%. You can see even more homes in the distance over there. Now, the cities in Florida that are going down the most right now include Tampa, St. Petersburg, Sarasota, Bradenton, Naples, Palm Bay, Port St. Lucie. Values are dropping all across the state, and they're even about to drop in Miami. And I'm just wondering how much these prices are going to drop, because Florida home buyers are priced out of the market right now. The values went up so much during the pandemic, and none of the local population here can really afford to buy a house with a mortgage, which is why you just have all of these empty home builder homes sitting unsold on the market. These houses are listed around $300,000, $350,000, and they're still not selling. Check this out, everyone. Even more new homes from these builders. You better watch out if you live in Florida in 2025 and you're trying to sell a house, because this market is dropping.
This is the perfect example. This video right here, this is what's going on. This is what's going on everywhere in Florida.
Where? Where? Where, Dwight?
Seems like you already know where.
They are building these huge communities and they're just empty. The communities are empty. And I see it every single day. I drive around a lot and I see it. Houses for sale, houses for sales. And nobody's buying. Even the rent. You see tons and tons of houses, apartments, and duplex for rent. But they're just sitting empty.
Use your common sense.
And you know, even the rent is dropping. Before, you cannot touch any house or any apartment for less than like $2,500 a month.
Damn!
Now you are able to find a house for like $1,700 a month. 3 bedroom, 2 bathroom, nice house on a really good area. And it just because they have dropped the price on rent, because otherwise they're not going to be able to rent it. There is so much competition that is crazy. So this is the perfect example of the last video that we saw right here. You know, they are building these communities and they just sitting empty.
Florida is now experiencing a complete collapse. Over the next 3 years, you will see housing prices on the East Coast and the West Coast and the south of Florida drop 30 to 40% over the next 3 years. It's that dire in Florida. And what's causing it all? People are moving out. People simply can't afford to live in Florida. And many people can't afford to fix their homes from the latest storms. It's only going to get worse. If you have property to sell in Florida, you better hurry. You better aggressively get it done. Because over the next 3 years, it's going to get worse and worse and worse. It's going to make the 2008 crash look like a picnic. So what is going on right now? You're seeing mass exodus of people. People leaving Florida in droves because it's simply not affordable. Insurance is too high. HOA is too high. Everything is too high. And even with the prices coming down, it's not going.
So it is true. A lot of people, they are moving out of Florida because they cannot afford to live here anymore. You know, they bought a house and then their taxes went up, and then the insurance went up, and now they are trying to sell their house, and it's not happening because they overpay, and it is what it is. It is crazy.
So almost half the homes in the Tampa Bay area right now are not selling, and it's not for the reason that you think. For single family homes, about 30% aren't selling, and that's actually normal. The real issue is that over 50% have to cut their price to get a buyer. And you'll know if your home doesn't sell in 12 days that it's overpriced. But condos and townhomes and villas, now that's a totally different story. 46% aren't selling, and 63% of those homes are going to have a price reduction. That's not normal. It means that they're overpriced, and you'll know in about 17 days if your condo is overpriced and hasn't sold. Right now, single family homes are still in a seller's market, which condos and townhomes are firmly in a buyer's market. And nationally, today prices are still about 8% higher than the long-term trend, but they're already starting to come back down here locally to the average. So here's the big question. What happens if the mortgage rates drop? That's what we're hoping happens, right? Demand will go up and supply will shrink. And then the prices, they'll probably go back up again. So the bottom line is, it is a smart time right now to buy, and it's also a smart time to sell. You just have to make sure if you're selling that you're pricing it right, and that if you're buying that you're making a sound decision. So send me a message and let me know if you want to talk about this more, or what strategy we should have if you're looking to buy or sell in the Tampa Bay area.
My opinion, it doesn't matter if they drop the interest rate or whatever. What comes down is the price.
That's what I'm talking about! That's why he's the MVP! That's why he's the GOAT!
People are overpricing their houses because they're overpaid and they are trying to get that money back. But today's economy is going to be hard. I always said it. It's going to happen again. Whatever happens, what happens in 2008 is going to happen again. A lot of my friends and families, you know, I always talk about that, about this. Oh, and they always tell me, oh, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Whatever happened in 2008, it's not going to happen again. But believe it, because the market is oversaturated.
I missed the part where that's my problem.
Way too many houses, and they kept building more and more. And I ask always the same question, why they keep building? If anybody has the answer to that, let me know in the comments below, because I've been looking for the answer forever.
Something needs to be done about these landlords, because tell me why, on top of the $1,650 worth of rent on average for a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom, less than 1,000 square foot apartment in Central Florida, that you are going to charge me $25 a month for valet trash service, $25 a month for pest control, $25 a month for Wi-Fi access at the clubhouse, and then to apply a $300 administrative fee, $75 per adult 18 and older to apply, so me and my husband. And those fees are non-refundable and do not go towards your deposit. And then you're gonna charge me of a deposit of first month's rent equivalent, even though I have decent credit. Like, and some of these places on top of all of that are charging first month's rent, the deposit, and then last month's rent. You're talking almost $4,000 for all of that. Like, and you don't get to opt out of these like monthly fees. Like, you don't get to opt out of valet trash service. You don't get to opt out of the Wi-Fi. Oh, and by golly, if the fucking apartment comes with a washer and dryer, that doesn't come with the apartment, babes. No, you gotta pay a $50 a month rental fee for that.
So guys, wherever this lady live, they are running a freaking mafia. They are mafia.
You're goddamn right.
How in the hell you gonna charge all these fees and fees every single month? Garbage valet service? Are you freaking kidding me? And you don't have the option to say no. It's freaking ridiculous. This is another reason why a lot of people are leaving Florida, because they cannot afford to live here. Period. Because of this landlord. They are freaking greedy. They just want money and money and money.
I like money.
This is why a lot of these apartment complex that I see, they're still empty. And they are losing money every month because they are just freaking greedy and they just want to take advantage of the people. Freaking crazy.
Florida really just said, what if we ban HOAs? And my first thought was, what are the neighborhood Karens gonna do when they can't tell you that your grass is too tall? So Florida lawmakers, they're proposing getting rid of all homeowners associations in Florida. Understand, this is huge, y'all, because almost half of the homes in Florida fall under HOA. That's more than anywhere else in the country. Imagine all those rules about mailbox colors, lawn heights, and all that stuff gone. But here's the thing. What happens to all those self-appointed sheriffs of the cul-de-sac? See, if you take away HOAs, you take away their only sense of power. These are people who didn't really have a life, and now you're taking their purpose. That's a whole identity crisis waiting to happen. Personally, I never understood HOA. You work hard, you buy a house, but then you turn around to let strangers tell you what you could do with your house. And you already got the government, taxes, zoning laws, all those other things you got to worry about. Why sign up for another government in khakis and with a clipboard? And let's be real, half of those HOA rules don't even make any sense anyway. So I want to hear from you all. Do you live in an HOA? Do you love it? Do you hate it? What's the wildest HOA story you've ever dealt with? Drop it in the comments, because Florida might actually be on to something, which would be a new thing for Florida. And I want to know if the rest of us should be following their lead, because it's never any time that you really should follow anything that Florida's doing.
So guys, it is my first time that I hear this. I live in Florida. I always said it, I live in Florida.
Don't care.
And like she said, I would say like 50% more than whatever she said there. I think she said 47%. I would say 50% of the houses here in Florida, they belong to this freaking mafia, the HOA mafia. That's what I call it. That's my opinion. For whatever. They are a mafia because they just make you pay these freaking HOA fees, and they just raise the price whenever they feel like it. And there is people telling you what to do in your house. What color you have to paint your house. What color is your mailbox? You cannot. Some of these communities are so freaking ridiculous. Like she said, they have a lot of laws that they don't even make sense. That you cannot even park your own vehicle on your own driveway. Believe it. You cannot park your own car on your own driveway.
That's a great question, and one I don't know.
You have to park your car inside your garage, because for any reason, your driveway is not to park your car. Make it make sense to me. Make it make sense to me that you cannot park your own car in your own driveway. It is crazy, and if they get rid of these freaking HOAs, that will be heaven, because I always said it. Even if I win the lottery tomorrow, I will not buy a house on these HOAs communities. I will not give my money away to those people. They are crooks.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
This is my opinion. Whatever, if you live in an HOA community and you're happy, do your thing, live your life. That's your decision. But I would say a lot of people, they are not agreed and they are not happy in these freaking communities. The first year is just, yeah, rainbows and flowers. Oh, it's beautiful here. I have a pool, I have this, I have that. And then after the first year, when they start raising your HOA's fees, and when they start telling you what to do or what not to do, then you start complaining. Believe it. I have seen it with my own eyes. I had family members that they used to live in these communities, and whenever I used to go visit them, it was a nightmare. It was a nightmare because you cannot park on the streets. Tell me if this makes sense. You cannot park on the street, let's say after 10 o'clock. And whenever they used to, throw like a barbecue or something like that, it was a nightmare because where do you park? You invite your family members and you cannot park. You don't have nowhere to park. You're supposed to park on the clubhouse and then walk. Are you freaking serious? Walk to your friend's house or to your family member's house because they don't want you to park on the streets. And you cannot leave, let's say, your car overnight at the clubhouse because they give you a ticket. Believe it happened to me one time. If you go to your family or friends for a barbecue, and let's say you were drinking and you don't want to drive, and you decide to stay overnight because you want to be responsible and you don't want to drive, and then the next day you find a freaking ticket or they put a booth on your car.
It's funny because it's true.
It happened to me, believe it. I have lived that situation. So if they get rid of HOAs, it's gonna be fantastic. It's gonna be wonderful. A lot of people, they're gonna be pissed off because they're gonna feel that they lost their power. Because these people here, these people in those communities, on those HOA communities, they think that they are the CIA. They think that they work for the FBI. And they have all the power in the world. It's freaking crazy. It's ridiculous. Believe it. It happens here in Florida. It's insane. So guys, let me know in the comments below what do you guys think about the housing market in Florida, because my opinion is going down and it's going to crash. It's going to crash sooner than you think. So even though if they lower the interest rates, their houses, they are overpriced. So let me know in the comments below what you guys think. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We are going to be doing an Amazon gift card giveaway.
Damn, dude, that's tight.
Yeah, I like that.
Once we reach 2,500 subscribers. So take advantage of that and subscribe to the channel and comment below and like this video, please. It really does help my channel grow. And see you guys on the next video. Thank you for watching.